food products before they end up in restaurants and grocery stores across the country. If certain foods seem irresistible and you keep eating even when you aren't hungry, it may not be all your fault. Experts say billions of dollars are spent every year to engineer the foods you eat, layering them with ingredients the companies know consumers love.
Fat and sugar, fat and salt, fat, sugar, and salt stimulate us to eat more and more.
Dr. David Kessler, the man who led the government's battle against tobacco companies, now is taking on big food companies.
And the way they design food, constructed food, is literally hijacking the brains of millions of Americans.
And causing those Americans to overeat.
Yes.
Some food is constructed so it takes fewer chews and goes down faster. That healthy-looking chicken breast, it may be injected with sugars and oils. Why would anyone inject something into a chicken breast?
To get you to eat more and more.
Even careful consumers can get fooled. Take cereal labels. Various sweeteners are often divided up and listed as separate ingredients: sugar, brown sugar, corn syrup, honey, keeping sugar from being the first ingredient listed.
I think it is misleading, and I think that there's probably some attempt to make it look less onerous to a mother who's looking for a cereal for her children.
But increasingly, the food industry, driven by fear of government regulation and consumer demand, is making some effort to produce healthier products. Gail Seville's company does testing for many big food companies. They've asked her to help them re-engineer their products, reduce fat, sugar, and salt without sacrificing taste. In fact, 16 major food and beverage companies have pledged to reduce the total calories they offer by 1.5 trillion by the year 2015. But one company, Cargill, raised a few eyebrows with its new campaign touting the virtues of salt, one of its key products.
You might be surprised by what foods are enhanced by its briny kiss,
suggesting sprinkling salt on fruit, cookies, even ice cream.
I thought it was very poor timing on the part of Cargill.
A Cargill spokesman says the campaign definitely was not intended to get people to add salt to their diet, but to help them understand how it can be used properly. For today, Lisa Myers, NBC News, Summit, New Jersey.
Madeline Fernstrom is today's diet and nutrition editor. Madeline, good morning to you.
Good morning, Matt.
I mean, are we really victims, though? I mean, clearly we know they're manipulating ingredients to make them taste better and make us want more, but when it comes right down to it, we're the ones choosing what to eat and not eat.
Right, Matt, you're exactly right. This is not a case of my brain made me do it. The big choice is saying, I'm going to choose to eat this. Where all these brain changes occur is once you eat it, and then it really tantalizes your taste buds, and there are brain signals going up there with a whole cascade of signals saying, this is really good. That's where the problem can start. But it starts with personal choice. Many people are susceptible to this when they think of food as a reward, so they're much more vulnerable to this.
Is this something nefarious? I mean, would these companies argue they're simply trying to make food taste better, not that they're trying to trick us into eating more?
You know, that's a reasonable statement, because there are decades of research in taste and smell in the academic literature. What companies have done is to translate this, is to not make just good food, but tasty food, optimizing sugar-fat combinations, salt-fat combinations that consumers say that they want.
So how do we make the most educated choices here? I mean, what do we need to keep in mind as we're about to approach the grocery store, for example?
Right. One thing is to read the labels. Also is to understand whether you're in a restaurant or you're buying things that are in a package or process when you think things are tasty. And we're talking about chips, salty fat combinations, pastries, cakes, all these kinds of things that taste super good. Read the label and look for the amount of sugar and fat, because it's going to be high, and what you want to do is just downsize, not eliminate.
Is this one of the reasons that we have this obesity epidemic in this country, that simply we can't get enough of a good thing and the companies are very good at making good things?
Right. You know, we like to eat. Sensory pleasure, that is enjoyment of food, is a good thing. It's become a bad thing because we overeat. It's very hard to say no to super tasty foods. And so what we have to do is try and change it and avoid trigger foods. There are some foods that many people find it hard to stay away from.
Fritos for me.
Fritos for you,
yeah.
right. But you can stop at a small bag. If you go, I have to eat 3 or 4 large bags, bags, you go, I've got to substitute some other salty taste for that, because there's a natural inclination for salt, for sugar, for fat. It's a good mouthfeel.
And you were saying that the Europeans in particular are good at having the real food as opposed to the constructed substitute.
Right. Real food that nature made, even sort of salty, creamy, that's going to be cheese, not a big piece of cake or cheesecake. It's something we have to change our thinking about, and it's easy to do that if you just pay a little attention.
Madeline, as always, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. It's 16 after the hour. Up next, Twilight's Taylor Lautner. Right